As you can see that this is the native Webflow slider, and we will convert this slider into swiper.js. So for the reference, we will be using the swiper.js documentation. So I'll just put the link in the description. So let's go to docs and let's go to get started. And from here, we need to copy the base script. So let's use this one. Let's copy this one. So first of all, you need to make sure that you have the structure added to the for the swiper, right? So we will add this later. So let's just copy this one. This is the base swiper script. Let's go to the home page. So if this slider is a component and this is being used on multiple pages, the same slider, so then you have to go to the project settings and put the script there. But let's put the script on this page right inside this before closing body tag. So let's add a script tag and closing one, and let's put the script between these two tags. Right, so this looks good, and we also need to add this the script that will connect with the swiper library. So let's put the script inside the before the closing body tag. So let's save this one. So we are done with it, and now we need to build this structure, right? So for building the structure, let's go to this testimonial slider wrapper. So let's start building the structure inside this block. So this is the first div block. Let's give it a class which is going to be swiper. Let's add another class which is going to be swiper wrapper, and another which is going to be swiper slide. So if I just take you back to this structure, so you can see that we have the swiper. Inside swiper we have swiper wrapper, and inside swiper wrapper we have the swiper slides, right? So we are good with this one. So now we can just copy the content that we have inside this testimonial slide. So now we want this to be moved inside this swiper slide, right? This looks great. So let me just copy this swiper slide 3 times, and let's move the content from the second slide to this one, and for the third one into this swiper slide. Okay, perfect. This looks great. Now we have to make sure that this looks similar. So my advice is, if you are using swiper.js for multiple slider and each slider has a different layout, then before making any layout changes, just put a combo class there. So we can say that is testimonials, right? So if you are going to make any change to this slider, so that will only affect this one, the layout changes, testimonials. So let's copy this class, testimonials. Make sure that you have the correct spellings there. Let's paste the same class to the swiper wrapper and also to the swiper slide. Okay, perfect. And now we can start making changes, the layout changes. So we can say that let's make it flex, and we can, yeah, so let's go to this class, and we do not need these we do not need these margins, because I am adding this slider into a template that we purchased from a third-party developer. So that's why we have this paddings and margins in pixels. So now what we can do is, I think this looks good. So far this looks good. Okay, so let's get back to the script, and here we also have to put is testimonial, because this script is only going to affect this slider on the page, and this is not going to be vertical, this is going to be horizontal. So horizontal is a default value for the swiper slider, so we do not need to put horizontal there. And this is not going to be a loop, so let's also remove this one. We do not need this property as well, but we need some other properties. So let's go back to the swiper documentation, and let's go to the swiper core API, and let's search for slides per view. Right, so we need these properties. So let's copy these two, let's get back, paste this one. So we need 2 slides per view, and the space between is going to be, let's say that 1.24 pixels, right? And let's try to save this one, and let's try to publish and see if we can see our slider connected with the swiper library. Okay, so let's go down to the section, and okay, so okay, this is the home page. Okay, perfect. Let me just go to the inspect. Yeah, okay, so this is swiper, and I can see that this is set on autoplay, so we are not going to use these native sliders anymore. So let me just remove these let me just remove this native slider, and let me just check what's inside this code embed. Okay, let's also remove this code embed. We do not need that one as well. And the next thing is, let's make the sizing to be don't shrink and grow, right? And now publish this slider again, so we can see the results. This has been published, so let's refresh the page again, and that's perfect. So now we have 2 slides a view, and this looks great. So we do not need this horizontal scroll for this page. So what we can do is, because the slides is overflowing the section, so we can just go to this testimonial section, and we can say that overflow, let's make it clip, or we can make it hidden. So let's make it clip, right? So let's refresh the page again. Yeah, let's refresh the page again, and this looks awesome. Perfect. So the next thing is, we need to the next thing to make the user experience better. So we need to convert our cursor into a grab icon when we hover over these slides. So let's go back to this documentation again, and let's search for grab. Yeah, grab cursor. So the default value is false, so let's make it true. So let's copy this grab cursor, and yeah, open this page settings. Let's put it right there. and let's make it true. Okay, perfect. So let's save it and publish. And now if I refresh the page, now I can see that when I hover over these slides, my cursor is changing into a grab icon, and now I can grab and I can switch between different slides. This looks awesome. And yeah, so the next part is we need to have those pagination dots right below there. So let's put those under the slide and under these slides. So just below this swiper, so what we can do is, or maybe we can, okay, let's try to put this under inside swiper. Let's create a div block, and let's say that this is going to be swiper spacer medium. Let's create a space, and now let's create another class which is going to be swiper pagination. Okay, let me just make sure that we are using, okay, so for the swiper pagination, we have to we have to put it inside the swiper pagination class. Yeah, let me just double check. Let's go back to the documentation and search for pagination. Yeah, so we have these documentations. Okay, perfect. So for the documentation, we will be using, yeah, for the bullet class we will be using swiper pagination bullet, and for the active one we will be using this class, right? So we will not be making any change in the script because we will be using the default class names. Okay, perfect. So let's try to create so let's give it a name. Let's go back to the documentation. Let's copy this class. Let's give it a class name. Let's make it like let's make it 8 pixels, and let's set the height to 8 pixels as well, or maybe go to with 12 by 12, right? Make the background to white and make the radius to 99 rems. Okay, perfect. And now we also need to create okay, I think let's make it to not white, but if we look to the original slider, these pagination circles were like this with some transparency, right? So let's make them to 60, and let's now create another bullet which is going to be, let's duplicate this one and let's copy this class name. Let's go back, hit enter, and now this is going to be different. Let me just make this flex. Let's bring everything to the center. Let's add a space between these bullets, 0.25, or maybe this is going to be 0.5, yeah, or maybe 0.35. Okay, this looks good. So this one is going to be active one, and with a different width. So let's make the width to 3 times 36, or maybe 48. I think 36 was okay. And let's also change the background color. Let's change the transparency. Okay, perfect. So now let's try to publish and see what are the results we have. Yeah, so let's refresh the page. Okay, so now we have the slides, and when I scroll, so this is how it looks, right? And if I add more slides to this structure, if I try to copy this swiper slide 3 more times, and now let's republish this page. Let's refresh, and now you can see that we have more pagination bullets there. So if I just scroll between them, so I can see the results. I'm not sure why those slides are not visible. I just need to check, but this is how it is. So we can use the default class names for these pagination bullets, and it works great. This looks perfect. So this is how you can make use of Swiper.js, and you can get rid of Webflow native sliders. And this Swiper.js comes with a lot of customizable options.